Everything they said about Roseanne Boylan from the very beginning is a lie. And I was holding her hand as she died, all right? And everything she felt, I felt as well, because I was right there next to her at the bottom of the pile holding her hand.
The real fights that the news talks about in the media, where they drag the police officer down and they're beating the police officer and all that, and they say the things about the police they shouldn't be saying, that was after they killed Roseanne Boylan. That was after they almost killed me. That was after they gassed an entire crowd.
There was other people there that day, as you'll see in this footage right now, like Philip Anderson. He's a young black man from Texas who's a brave patriot who's come forward recently and signed an affidavit, court-sworn affidavit, saying that if it wasn't for me, that he would be dead that day by the hands of the Capitol Police. This is just another story of the countless stories that are horrific from January 6th of people being shot with tear gas canisters, hit with rubber bullets, pummeled over the head with steel batons. There was a concerted effort by the Capitol Police that day, to absolutely punish the American people and hurt them, and not to defend human life, and not to usher them into the building and take selfies like we've seen it in some different parts. On the West Terrace Tunnel entrance, they were there to hurt people.
They weren't fighting back, we're getting crushed. What they did was they pushed more people on top of us. They were beating and beating and beating.
I was holding her hand as she died, all right? And everything she felt, I felt as well, because I was right there next to her at the bottom of the pile holding her hand.
There's nothing more devastating than watching men and women unarmed be killed by our own police officers in this country.
Roseanne Boylan was seen being beaten by a policewoman while she was laying there seemingly unconscious.
Here's how you know the Capitol Police are evil. When Roseanne Boylan is lying there on the ground, dying, motionless, not moving at all, a Capitol Police officer beats her over the head with a baton. And now the Capitol Police Department has ruled that that was objectively reasonable. I think they said objectively, maybe they said something. Yeah, they ruled that that was reasonable. I'm like, hold on. How's it reasonable to beat a dying woman over the head with a baton?
And being crushed by a crowd, and when they tried to pull her out of the crowd, they were being tear gassed by police. So police was preventing actual Trump supporters from rescuing multiple people that were at the bottom of the pile. That is the real story, and if people knew that there was a chance that police possibly killed another protester, not Ashley Babbitt, but Roseanne Boylan, and that the reason that these Trump supporters were violent or were acting hostile towards the cops was because they were trying to save people's lives, then that changes the whole narrative.
It was like something you'd see out of a movie, like in a war scene. And it was a really terrifying experience. If it wasn't for Jake Lang, I definitely would be dead.
Yes, she collapsed underneath him. For 4 minutes she was underneath, not breathing. What happened, sir? So a lady died in front of me. I picked up a black kid, carried him down the steps. She fainted and she was crushed by about 6 people.
Out here?
Rolling in the window.
Did they bring her? Did she go inside?
She was purple by the time they got her.
And this was witnessed by thousands of Americans on the steps of our own Capitol. You know, I've watched Roseanne Boylan, the life leave her body, and it haunts me to this day. Every night that I'm in solitary confinement, I see her, I pray for her, I pray for her family, and her memory will never be forgotten. Her sacrifice for this country will never be forgotten.
There are approximately 15 men who are incarcerated to this day in DC Gitmo or one of the other jails that are holding January 6th defendants. And I'd say at least half of those were nonviolent. They didn't even attack police. Some of them threw objects at police or were hostile towards police and are being charged with attacking police officers. But 15 people currently sit in solitary confinement since January 6th who witnessed what happened to Roseanne Boyland, who all say they were trying to help her and others and save their lives that were underneath the pile of protesters that were on top of Roseanne Boyland, but were getting tear gassed and hit by police, anyone that tried to save these people's lives.